Okay, what you need to do the job is, I laid this stuff out here. Uh, you need your nitrile gloves, disposable. You need a torque wrench, because when we're going to torque the drain bolt for the transmission pan, we're going to torque it to 40 Newton meters. You need a 3/8 inch ratchet. You need a 10 millimeter socket. Oop, did I say 10? 12. 12 millimeter socket. That's to take the hold down bolt for the dipstick out, the green dipstick. 12 millimeter. I didn't have a large socket for the transmission oil plug, but this one fits good. It's English, 15/16. Uh, that's about 23 or 24 millimeter. I can't tell you exactly in millimeters. I don't know because I don't have one. But it's 15/16. There's a half-inch ratchet to take the plug out. This here is a bunch of 3/8 inch drive extensions, and it's about 21 inches long. And that's to take the hold down bolt for the dipstick out. That's the case for the torque wrench. And you need this stuff. You need a case of this, 12 quarts of Toyota ATF Type T4. This is says for Toyota, but it's for Saab. It meets the JWS 3309 standard, and this is not synthetic. You do not want to use synthetic because synthetic, I've read, is a little too slippery. You gotta use just the regular stuff and get a case of that. And one more thing, if you want to really make it official, that's the aluminum washer for the drain plug, and that's 977751. I got those at FCP Euro, and they're not that expensive. And so I really strongly suggest you use a new washer, and that way you're not going to get any leaks. We'll fill it up here. Like that. We fill them up to the top. We're going to dump them in here. I'm going to mark it here with 20 ounces there. I'm going to do it again. This is going to be 40 ounces here. I'm just going to keep doing it until we do the whole thing. See, these measurements are going to be pretty precise, but we could do it a different way. Like you could go out and buy 2 plastic containers and put your old fluid in one, and then compare it and put your new fluid in the other container, match it up, and then dump your new fluid in. But I'm using what I got around the house. Now this is the stuff you use for the Saab transmission, for the 5-speed automatic transmission, that is. Toyota ATF Type T-Roman numeral 4. And this is the JWS 3309 standard. It's a Aisin transmission in the Saab, and they use this transmission that was developed by the Japanese, and this is the stuff you put in. And I bought this 12 quart crate here, or box, for about $78. This is what you use in it. And this is versus what the dealer wants. The dealer wanted, I think, $320, something like that. $325 to do the fluid flush. So 78 is a lot better than 300 plus. You see, the rationale is this. Let's say I drain it. Let's say I drain the sump of the tranny, the transmission pan, and I change the fluid, and let's say I end up with about 50%. So that's not that great. So I'm going to run it around, and I'm going to dilute the old fluid in the tranny with the new fluid. It's going to be 50%. Then we're going to do it again. So I'm going to end up with 25%. So 25% is going to be the old fluid that was still in there. So I'm rationalizing like there's about 4 quarts I'm going to use when I drain it. So that's first time, second time, third time. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to end up with about, say, what's that? 12.5%. So when I get done with the 3 flushes, and it's not really a flush, it's just like filling it up, driving it around, circulating it, draining it again, I'm going to end up with 12.5%. I think I do that right. Because that's, yeah, that's right. It's going to be like about 12.5%, 12% of the old fluid mixture still mixed with the newer fluid that I'm adding. But that's okay. Now, if a dealer did it, they have like a machine, I guess, to hook to it, and they could probably give you 100% flush. Like I said, it's going to be $300. And for $78, you get yourself almost totally flushed with maybe 12.5% of the old stuff still in it. So, what do you do then? Let's say you change it let's say you do this every 30,000 miles, something like that. That's pretty good, and it's a lot better than not doing it at all. Do you see that green thing way down there? Well, to the left of that green thing is a 12 millimeter nut. And you take that nut off, and that's the dipstick for the tranny. I know that's really hard to get to. So you're going to need like a really long extension. Get that from the top. It's got to be pretty long. Like, wow, like 16 inches of extensions or something like that. So you're going to need that. And then when you take the dipstick out, that's where you're going to refill the tranny from. With like a funnel with like a long tube. Like this thing here. This thing is a Mezzu funnel. Part number 10704. Made by Flow Tool. Maybe that's her name, Flo. And anyway, it's got a nice seal on top to keep dirt out of. It's got a nice hose. And it's got a little stopper on there. You can open that up, and supposedly you can stick that in a hole. I should probably try that before we even drain it. That makes sense, right? Let's see if we could get this in the hole first before we actually drain this stuff out. Just wanted to say too, when you this unscrews, the top piece unscrews, and as you notice, there is a screen in there. You want to get something with a screen, because these transmissions that are new transmissions don't like any dirt at all. So you want a screen function there. Okay, I got about 20 inches, 21 inches of extensions. 20 inches is about good. What's good too is this wobble extension. See how it's made? It allows you to wobble a little bit. You don't really need that, but I like using those. So it's a good thing to have. Let's check. Can we get down there? Let's check it out. Yeah, look, see? It's like 21 inches of extensions. and I got a little wobble there, so you could wobble it a little bit, get the nut off. The thing I'm going to do first is put this on ramps, because there's no way I'm going to get that green dipstick out. You can't even see it anymore. That green dipstick, there's no way I'm going to get out from the top. You got to get out from the bottom. So I'll put it on ramps and continue. Okay, car's securely on ramps. Take a look. These are very nice ramps. They also, yeah, these are the Rhino ramps. These are the older ones, but they're really good. Had them for 20 years. And got wheel chocks on the back. Got the emergency brake on, as you can see. And I'm going to take the nut out here. There we go. There it is, 12mm nut. It fell on the ground like I figured it would, but didn't roll anywhere, which is good. Now to put it back in is going to be tricky. And I saw someone on YouTube, he also did this kind of job, and he used tape. You know, he held this onto the socket with some masking tape. That was a great idea. And I gotta look up his name, because you can look at his video too. Yeah, see, you get to the dipstick from underneath, and that's what it looks like. Okay, this here is the drain plug nut. You can see it there pretty good. It's the lowest part of the pan, and there's a taper on it. My 24mm and the 15/16 fit about the same. So 15/16 seems a little tighter. I couldn't find my 23mm socket. It could be a 23mm, but this 15/16 works good too. Here's a better look at the nut with a little flashlight on there. You can see it looks pretty good, and you can see the washer in between there. You don't want to lose the washer, and you may want to get a new one of those when you replace it. Or I should have said, you may want to replace the washer there when you get the last fill completed. Put a new washer in there, because you don't want it to leak. Now when I pull the dipstick out, this is what it looks like. You can see there's a cold mark there. I can't tell. Let's see. This whole thing says cold. So it's actually a little bit below the cold there. But I'm on ramps, so what do you expect? It's leaning backward. But that's where it is, where it's on ramps. So when I refill it, I could refill it to that amount. And then here's the hot up here. So I could always measure this when I'm all done and all completed and all hot, and crawl under the car somehow and measure it, which is impossible because the car is too low to get it out. So it's really a dumb way to make a dipstick. It really is. Now I'm going to stick the filler thing into the hole. And I just noticed here, this thing has an adjustment on it, like a speed adjustment. You can put it like halfway if you want. That's good. See, there's the tube. I have to go underneath the car to put it in. I'm putting the flashlight on it, see? And please be real careful not to knock any dirt in the hole when you put the hose nozzle in the end. And when you fill this up, you got to do it slow, because it's going to want to burp like air out through there, you know? Here comes the fun part. Lefty loosey. Remember that. Ugh. Did it do it? I don't think so. Yep, I got it. Now we gotta back it off by our fingers and this stuff's gonna get all over the place. Okay, we're gonna loosen the plug here on the Aisin transmission. This is Japanese transmission, so don't blame Saab for having it drain on the cross member. They didn't design the tranny. That's pretty cold. I'm draining it cold because I don't want to burn myself. Let it drain for a while, kids. Let it drain for a while, guys and gals. Oh, I got some red to it. So it's a little dark, but it's still red. It ain't burnt or anything. It's dark, but it's still nice and strawberry color kind of darkness. I think it's raspberry. Raspberry and strawberry together. Okay, I got the drained fluid in here. That's 100 ounces. That's 120 ounces. That's 110 ounces. And it's about 116 ounces. That's what I drained out of it. So if we do the math, let's see, it would be 96 ounces would be 3 quarts minus, let's see, 116 ounces. It's really 20 ounces. Okay, 20 ounces divided by 32 ounces in a quart would be about 0.6. So I drained about 3.6 quarts out of that thing. It's not 4 quarts. I got 3.6 quarts out of it, and that's what I'm going to put in. And then I'm going to try to check the dipstick when it's hot later on after I drive it around, like the third time I do it. After it gets nice and hot, I'm going to check it again, see what it sits at, and if I have to, I can add a little bit to bring it up. You see what I'm saying? But I'm only going to put 3.6 quarts in. Okay, word about fluid real quick here. This is what you use. Type T-IV, T-4, 1 US quart, and this is your mineral oil based stuff. This is not synthetic. Do not use synthetic. Do not use 3309 standard synthetic. The synthetic has too much slip in it. You gotta use this stuff, standard mineral oil. That's what you gotta use. So I'm gonna take off the top here because I didn't want any dirt getting in there. I'm gonna fill it up with 3.5 quarts. That's what I took out. And the trick here is do it slow. Come on, go down there. It's gonna take a while. Okay, I made an adjustment to the valve on the bottom of this thing. See, that's a good rate, right like that. Not too fast. That's a good rate. It's going to take a little time because we don't want it to burp out of here down at the hole here. Yeah, see, we're filling it up, not too fast. I made an adjustment to the valve. That's a good rate like that. There it goes. Someone on the blog said it would look like strawberry juice, and it sure does. There you go. Then we check down there, make sure it ain't overflowing. Looks good. See, it's all working out good. These jugs have an indicator on the side, so I just put in 3.6 quarts. Okay, right there is the last of the stuff for 3.6 quarts. What I'm going to do is drive it around, and I'm going to put the actually going to put the dipstick back in there. Put that green dipstick back in. I don't want the stuff flying out of there. So I'm going to put the green dipstick back in. I'm going to drive it around at least 15 minutes. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. Then I'm going to put the plug in for a reel with a new gasket. Torque it in there to 30 foot-pounds, it said, for the drain plug of the tranny. And I'm going to put the dipstick in for real, and that would, they say, torque that to 8 Newton meters, and that's going to be cool. and it should be like done. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I'm doing here. You know, this ain't gonna pick it up, but well, it might. It's a little speck of dirt on that screen. You know, it's a little windy out here, and something blew around. So that screen got that little speck. You see that? That's why you gotta use the screen funnel to fill your transmission up. I've seen people on YouTube, they don't use the screen funnel. You gotta use the screen funnel. Got to. Alright, doing drain number 3. That's a lot cleaner now. You can tell. You see how it drains on that cross member. This is drain number 3. Gonna let it drain for like a half hour. Since this is the last fill that I'm doing, this is a good time to clean this off real good. And there wasn't any metal chips in it or anything. This is not magnetic though, so it doesn't hold anything, but clean it real good with a nice clean rag like this. You can take the old aluminum washer off here. Here. You can put a new one on. New aluminum washer, kids. Put that on there. The part number of that is 977751. 97751. I got 3 of them for 30,000 miles from now. I'm going to do it again. And I got these at FCP Euro. Is where I got them from. And they weren't that much money. So I would suggest get yourself a new aluminum washer to put on there. And when you tighten the plug in, I looked it up, and it's 40 Newton meters to plug it in. That's 30 foot-pounds. Okay, that's the drain plug of the new washer. Gonna put it in because the dripping's about stopped. Just want to say, be real careful not to cross thread the threads. Should just go in nice easy with your finger like that. And then you use Mr. Torque wrench here, torque to 40 Newton meters. And I gotta use 2 hands for that, sorry. Okay, I don't see, watch, it'll click. There it goes, see, 40 Newton meters. Gotta be authentic here. Okay, I'm gonna do the final fill, take the cover off of that. And do the final fill at 3.6 quarts. Now, I just want to say, yours may differ. Yours may differ, because I saw someone that said they got 3.75 quarts. But that's not what I drained. I'm only putting back what I drained. So you should do the same thing too. Just put back what you drain. Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me on that, but don't listen to me on my number. That. Nice and slow. You don't want to do it too fast. Yeah, I just used a handy gauge on the side to tell me when to stop pouring quart number 4. So that's about 3.6. Another little bit. See, 20 ounces will bring it to the 12 here. So I'll put a couple more drops in there. That should do it. Then what you do is you put your dipstick in for the last time. You get underneath the car. You can do it with your hand, and you push it until it clicks. There's a little rubber O-ring. Make sure it clicks. And I was able to get the bolt in from underneath, just barely with my hand. Barely. Now I'm going to tighten it into 8 Newton meters. See, I backed it off too here. And, you know, 8 Newton meters is kind of light, just like snug. I like doing things like with the torque wrench, it's kind of cool. Let's see here. You just snug it in, very light. That's it. So take your wheel chocks out. Close the hood, if you can reach it. crank her up. Uh-huh. Let her off the ramp. Easy. Whoop. Let her off the ramp easy. Cool. And happy Saab motoring. Happy Saab motoring. And the wife's gonna be so happy with me. I just saved about 250 bucks by doing it myself. It's not a perfect job because I didn't do 100%, but I probably got it down to 12% old stuff in there. That ain't too bad. I'll do it again in 30,000 miles. Like I got almost 60 now. So when it hits around 100,000, well, that won't be 100,000, that'll be 40. When it hits 90,000, I'll do it again. Take it easy, folks. Have a great day. Have a nice evening. Talk to you later. Bye.